Good morning, everyone. Looks like we're all in here now. Still got a few trickling in. It's a great turnout again this morning. Thanks for joining us today for session 2, social media setup. My name is Eric Delary. I'm the director of the Blue Mountain Small Business Development Center. For those of you that are not familiar with the SBDC, we have a team of experienced business owners who are equipped with a wealth of knowledge and really here to assist you wherever we can, however we can. The Blue Mountain Community College covers Umatilla, Wallowa, and Baker counties as our service area. Let me take a moment to introduce our advising team. We have Jeff Nelson in Baker County, Lori Scaffsma and Christy Athens are in Wallowa County. Our center offers cost-free advising to any small business, so please reach out to us anytime for any of your needs. We will have a slide up later as well that will have all of our email addresses and contact information there, so feel free to jot that down and reach out to us. You can also email the center itself at sbdc@bluecc.edu or find us online and call us anytime. So today's webinar, Social Media Setup, is the second installment of our month-long Digital Essential 4-part series. We couldn't have made this happen without our partnership with the amazing Susan Bauer and Eastern Oregon Business Source, who's been amazing through this process. And of course, our presenter today, Nick Nash, who knocked it out of the park last week, and looking forward to what he's got today. So typically, we would also charge for a series like this, but because of the unprecedented year we've had, and thanks in part to the CARES Act funds that were available, we're able to provide all of this at no cost. So we appreciate you joining up. If you haven't signed up yet for the remaining 2 sessions, please join us for those as well. You can find any of this information too on our Facebook page, our LinkedIn, our new Instagram, Twitter accounts are also up. And then we're providing all of this content to YouTube afterwards as well. So if there's anything that you want to go back and review, it'll be posted to any of those, and you can watch it on our YouTube as well. So before we get started, just a few items to cover. I think Nick will touch on this a little bit too, but please keep yourself on mute during the presentation. We will take a moment after each section to answer questions, but we would also love to hear your feedback during that time. So we'll have a little open discussion. Let us know what your experiences are, or just providing some feedback is great. We want this to be as interactive as we can. So if you've had a particular experience that you would like to share, you're encouraged to do so, and we'll pause for a moment so that you can. We'll also be monitoring the chat, so please, as we go, if you have any questions at all, type them in there. We'll keep an eye on that. We'll either ask them with the group or we'll respond to you in the chat, and that's about it. Looking forward to doing this today, and again, thank you all for joining us. Without further ado, Nick, you're on.
Excellent. Thank you, Eric. Thank you for the very kind introduction. Okay, get everything set up here. Just one moment so I can see everybody's face. All right. So as I'm sure we all know, today we're going to be talking about social media basics, setting things up. So before I begin, I, of course, want to talk about the other sessions. So, of course, we had our session on last week about social media overview. And, of course, here we're today with social media setup. Next Wednesday at this time, we have websites and e-commerce, which is actually going to be in many ways a mix of the first 2 styles. So it'll be an overview and also details about setting up on each of the major website hosting sites, and then also the major e-commerce sites. And then finally, to tie everything together, on February 24th, we're going to talk about growing your following. So today we're going to be talking about how to get things set up. And then on the 24th is where we'll really dig in to how to make the most of all of these accounts that we've been busy setting up over the last few weeks. All right, so there we are. That one's done. We're on the second one. As Eric said, here is the contact information for the SBDC. You can see their email address and phone number there at the top, as well as the contact information for each of the people in the SBDC. And this slide will come up again at the end. So if you didn't have quite enough time to jot this down, we will see it again. And as Eric mentioned, I work with Susan Bauer at a company called Eastern Oregon Business Source. Something I didn't mention last time is that we are, as the name implies, located in Eastern Oregon. Our office is in Pendleton, Oregon, across from the courthouse. We do strategic planning, community development work, and workforce development work, including trainings like this. All right. So Eric touched on some of these, but I feel like you can never say these kinds of things enough. Some norms for communication during this session. So it's good etiquette to mute yourself if you're not talking. Everybody's been very, very good at that, and I really appreciate it. If you happen to be using a phone, please mute yourself using your phone's mute button. That I found is the most effective way to do that. And this session is intended to be interactive. Eric did a nice job of covering the different ways, but I will go through them again. You can, of course, unmute yourself and talk. And please recognize that you can do this at any time, and it's okay to interrupt. This is just sort of a part of the video conferencing lifestyle. We're not all in the same space, so it's really hard to time when it would be appropriate to talk. So feel free to just unmute yourself and speak up. You can also, of course, type into the chat, and that will be monitored in the background, and people will interject as it's necessary. Or you can click on the reactions button at the bottom of your screen and raise your hand or use any reaction. And any of these options will work the same. So you can choose whichever one you're comfortable with. And to get us speaking into the space this morning, I wanted to check in to see if anyone tried any of the challenges from last week. And if so, what were the results?
Can I go first?
Please, please.
Okay, so my candle supplies, well, some of them, the bulk of them arrived yesterday. So I actually took some pictures of my daughter opening them up with and stuff. So I'm gonna size those like you're talking about. So now I have some pictures to start off with, and
nice.
Yeah,
nice.
Yeah,
Nice.
And she loved
great,
it. By
the
way, it was so cute.
That will be helpful, I have no doubt.
I'm sure. Thank you.
Yeah. Anybody else? Did anybody else try any of the challenges from last week? And if so, what were your results? I will admit I tried a few of the challenges myself and had a little bit of extra interaction, definitely revived some of our social media presence a little bit better. Okay. All right. So the plan for the session today, we're actually going to begin by talking about something that maybe none of us know about previously, which is a site called Canva. And I'll talk about this in length in a moment. This is going to help build all of these excellent social media posts that we want to make. We're going to learn how to set up a Facebook business page. We're going to learn how to set up an Instagram business account. We're going to learn how to set up a personal and business LinkedIn page. And then we're going to learn how to set up a Twitter account. Now, just sort of a characteristic of this particular set of material, these are kind of a lot of lists of instructions. And if you're anything like me, I could watch this and still, even after having watched it, have trouble remembering all of these fine details. So, of course, Eric is going to be recording the full session, and so that will be available on the SBDC YouTube page. In addition, I am going to be sending him a variety of shorter videos that will talk about each one of the sections. So please look forward to those. And if you're a little bit overwhelmed with what's about to happen, that's okay. We'll have access to those tools moving forward. So you don't have to catch everything today. Okay, so starting with Canva. So Canva is a graphic design platform that's used to create social media graphics, presentations, posters, documents, and other visual content. The app includes a wide variety of templates to use, and the platform is free and also offers paid subscriptions like Canva Pro and Canva for Enterprises, and these include additional functionality. In addition, you can pay and they will send you physical items shipped to you. So does anybody know about Canva, and has anybody seen it used effectively?
I've used Canva.
Awesome. Tell me a little bit about that.
Well, it was referred to me by a gal who redesigned our company logo.
Uh-huh.
And it was very nice because she actually was able to, through Canva, give me access to my logos and all the different colors and things, and set up a couple templates for me. And not only can I do my social media from there, but I can actually design. I like to do postcards. I can design my postcard and hit a link, and there's a subcontractor printer that Canva works with that did my postcards as well. So you can interact or have teammates if you have a marketing or graphic person. And it's a really good way to library all your graphics and your previous posts and your work.
Yeah. Thank you, Heather. This is an amazing introduction to what we're just about to cover. Does anybody else have any experience using Canva?
I do. I use Canva almost every day.
I would imagine, if I recall, Sherry, you talked about posting on both Facebook and Instagram. Could you tell us a little bit about your experience using Canva?
So actually, Heather and I work very close together, and she introduced it to me because I work very closely with her. And ever since she introduced it to me, because her graphic designer gets information to me, I actually opened a pro account. It's been very, very useful. There's things in the free account you just can't do. And if you are doing things on a professional print level, it's well worth the investment for the pro account. You have a lot more graphics available to you. You can design a full branding kits for your business in it. So like Heather was saying, you can archive all of that information. It saves everything. If you're working on something that's similar from the past, you can actually go through all of your designs and pull that design back up. The nice thing that Canva does offer is everything is pre-built. Facebook post sizes are pre-built. The banners are pre-built. Email headers are pre-built. It's a phenomenal product. It really is.
Yeah. Thank you, Sherry. And also an excellent introduction about what we're about to cover. And I will agree with what you said. If you've never used Canva and you feel overwhelmed by all of the things you need to know to be interacting with social media, Canva will blow your mind. It has everything set up and ready to go. And as we just heard, there are also some excellent paid options, and they're not really all that expensive. It's a little more than $100 a year. So before you begin with Canva, there's a few things that are helpful to have. So you want an email address, but you can also sign up with Facebook or Google if that's easier for you. You're going to need your team name, and here your business name will work. And this is the team name allows you to set up teams. And this is what Sherry and Heather were talking about with regard to being able to have their graphic designer linked into what they're working on. The contact information of anyone that you want to give access to your team's accounts, you're going to need that to get going. And the first project you want to design. So this is what the Canva homepage looks like. To get going, you click on the sign up button here, and it will take you to a window that looks like this. So as you can see, you can sign up with Google, or you can sign up with Facebook, or with your email, which we'll click here. And we will be met with this very normal looking box where we enter our name and our email address and password, and then get started. You'll then be met with this page, which gives you the opportunity to identify what you're going to be using Canva for. I assume most of us will be using it for small businesses, although you're certainly welcome to choose whichever one of those you want. And then this is how you set up your team page. So there you can type in your team name. Your business name will, of course, work here. You can also drag in your logo and then click on continue. If you want to skip this step, you can skip it by clicking here. And then you can invite people to be part of your team. So you can click here to get an invite link or put in people's email addresses to invite them. And then you'll click on the send invite button there at the bottom. And if you want to skip this, you can click on the skip button here. Canva, part of obviously how it exists is by selling paid accounts, and you'll often be greeted with this advertisement. Here, it allows you to try the service for free for 30 days if you would like, or you can click on maybe later, depending on how you are feeling. And when I set all of this up, my thinking was to use it for a little while to see if I liked it, and then try the free trial. But certainly you can do whatever works best for you. And then you can start your first design by typing what you would like to design in here, or clicking on any of those boxes down below. If you go back to the home page, once you're signed in, you'll be met with something like this. You can see your credentials, NN for Nick Nash up there in the corner. And we see all different kinds of things that we can design. We can click on social media, and it will bring up a bunch of social media specific things. So we see Instagram posts, Instagram stories, TikTok backgrounds, Facebook cover photos, all kinds of things. Everything you can imagine is in here somewhere. You can also type in here what you're looking for. So if we want to make a Facebook cover, which is what we're going to do in our example, you can type that in here. Facebook cover, click on it, and then you're met with all of these options. And when you click on one, you will be met with a screen like this, and you can click into any of the text and change it in whatever ways you want. So click in here, and you can see there typing in Eastern Oregon Business Source. And when it's done, it might look something like this. And this looks pretty good. And I have no design experience, I can assure you. And in fact, I realize how important graphic designers are every time I sit down and try to design something. And Canva really helps a lot with these things. When you're ready to go with your design, you can click on download here, and you will be met with a screen like this. And if you click on here, which will allow you to adjust the file types, you can then pick what you would like, and they have their suggested based on what the site is expecting. Click on download, and you have your final product, a perfectly sized Facebook cover photo that you can then use on your Facebook site. All right. Were there any questions about Canva before we get into Facebook? Excellent. So we'll remember, of course, that Facebook is the most used of all the major social media platforms, right? And a Facebook business page helps people find your business and learn more about what you have to offer. It's also a place where you can interact with your customers and where people can reach out to chat and ask questions. And I think that if your business is new to social media, Facebook is a great place for you to start. So we'll remember from last time, there are 2.7 billion monthly Facebook users, billion with a B, and 1.59 billion daily users. Users between the ages of 25 and 34 are the largest demographic group, and 7 in 10 US adults use Facebook. About 90% of Facebook's daily activity comes from outside the US and Canada, which is very interesting. Facebook accounts for over 45% of monthly social media visits. 350 million photos are uploaded to Facebook every day. All right. So how have you all seen Facebook used effectively, or how do you use it effectively in your work?
I get a lot of sales from outside the area of my store. I get a lot of, I guess I'll call them online sales, although they're not through my website, by having joined different appropriate sales groups for some things.
Excellent. Could you say just a tiny bit more about that, Heather? So what is the dynamic? There's sale groups and you join them and then people see your product and they buy it?
Yeah. So one of the products I sell is actually pretty random. It's Rodeo Queen clothes. And
Nice.
there are some big groups that allow you to anyone to sell Rodeo Queen clothes. It basically acts as a giant active classified section. And you can post pictures, videos, comments. And I am typically, last week I shipped to Iowa, Texas, and Oklahoma. Things.
Awesome.
So it's really allowed for me to reach far beyond into such a targeted market that seems pretty obscure when you can find the right group. And then of course I belong to groups that are more of educational or just sharing things as well. So
Excellent.
depends what you're looking for. Yeah.
Yeah. That is an excellent example of using Facebook effectively to grow our business. So as Heather is identifying, she now has customers all across the country that I would imagine you couldn't even imagine coming in contact with if it wasn't for Facebook.
Yeah, I don't know how I would have reached them, honestly.
Yeah. Excellent. Very good. Thank you. So when you're setting up your Facebook page, if you don't have one, before you begin, you're going to need a profile picture and cover photo. So the profile picture needs to be square, and the cover photo needs to be a minimum of a rectangle of these sizes. Excuse me. What I would recommend is that you set up a Canva account and just let Canva determine these sizes for you. Much easier. You'll also need a description of your business, which is about 255 characters or about 45 words. And you'll need some basic business information, including things like your phone number, your website, your business location, your hours of operation, and so on. You'll also need a personal Facebook account. I didn't put that on the list, but that is the first thing you need is a personal Facebook account. You need a personal account to set up a business account. So we're going to cover a bunch of stuff in this Facebook section. We're going to cover, of course, how to get started. We're going to talk about how to set up your username. We're going to cover adding a button, as we saw last time as well. We're going to do page settings, including page info, templates and tabs, and page roles. And I'm going to talk about how to unpublish your page. So this is how to make it invisible while you're working on it. So to start, this is my personal Facebook page. I'm not very good there. I don't have a cover photo up. But from your personal Facebook page, click on this plus button, and you'll be greeted with a menu like this. From here, you click on this page button, and it will take you to the Create a Page window. Then you just need to enter in this information on the left, page name, category, a description of your page. And when you enter that in, you'll be met with this. So we see that it is entered in there, Leadership Quick, a consulting agency, and so on. And then you'll also have the opportunity to add your profile picture here if you would like. There's also another way to add your photo. So if you set this up and you didn't quite have your photo ready yet, when you log back in, you'll be met with a page like this, and you can click either here or here to update either of those two photos. This will take you to a place where you can find them on your computer and upload them. So to set up your username, you have the opportunity to choose a username that's specific to your business. You come to this page, which is the page you'll be greeted with, and then you click on Create Username here. This will bring up a window like this that will allow you to choose your username. Leadership Quick, for whatever reason, was not chosen. Because there are so many Facebook users, it may be a little tricky to get exactly the username that you need. So there may be numbers or adjustments afterwards that are required to get a username. In any case, once you have that figured out, you click Create Username, and it is ready to go. Now, to add a button, you click here on the Add Button button. And if we remember last time, we're met with a menu like this, which allows us to see all of the different buttons that we could choose from. So what a button does is it is a very fast and sort of flashy way for people to interact with your Facebook page. So we can see you can do things like start order if you're a restaurant, or book now if that is more applicable. Call now, people can call directly from their cell phones. Contact us, which will let you put a link to your webpage or whatever you would like. Sign up if that's applicable, and so on. So we see a whole list of things we have access to there. If we click the Call Now button, we're met with something like this, where we can enter our phone number. If instead we click the Contact Us, we're met with this, where we can enter our website. And if we do that and then click on Save, the page will look like this. And this is what the page looks like to a visitor. You can see the Contact Us button with the website that was linked underneath. All right. Now, as for page settings, this is sort of getting into the guts of Facebook. So when we're back at this page, we click on Settings down at the bottom. So the first tab on the Settings page is just General Settings. And we see this whole list of different things: page visibility, visitor posts, messages, tagging ability, page moderator, profanity filter, translate automatically, all kinds of sort of core settings. I'll leave it to you to go in and dig through these and set them up to your liking. But in any case, it's valuable to know that they're here, and it's valuable to know that you can adjust them as you need. Now, getting into page info, this is the third tab here. If you click on this, then this is where you enter all of the details about your business. So we see there name and username and description, as well as categories, and then phone number there at the bottom. And then email. You can also choose if you don't use an email address or a website. And if you don't use that, then your physical location. Then your service area, your hours of operation, and any temporary service changes in relation to COVID, you can enter in there. You can enter your privacy policy, products, additional information, as well as the price range for your products. And then here at the bottom, you can make any other social media accounts you have appear on your Facebook front page. Now, templates and tabs. This is here, the fourth tab down. And we see we have, of course, templates and tabs, as the title would suggest. If you click on the templates button, you're met with a menu like this that allows you to choose a set of templates that accurately represents what you're up to. So we see services and business there. There's also venues, nonprofit, politicians or public figures, restaurants and cafes, shopping, video page, and so on. So you can choose whichever best aligns with your business needs. As far as tabs, if you click on each of these sliders here, this will make tabs on your page appear and disappear. If you're not sure what these tabs refer to, hold on for just a second. I'm going to show you. So we have all of these options: services, reviews, shops, offers, events down there we see. You can click these on or off. So here are the tabs normally. And if we don't change anything, we have all of these options. But it's definitely possible that some of these options don't apply to our business. And so being able to turn off the tabs just kind of reduces the things that we don't need on our business Facebook page. which I think is a good thing to know about because it will help sort of refine people's experience of your business's Facebook page. So if we turn all of these off except for events there at the bottom, we will end up with something like this. So the tabs are slightly different. And if you click on the menu, you can see that there are far less there. You can also edit these tabs again by clicking on this link if you don't want to go through the other way that I showed. And this is what it looks like to people viewing your page. So we see very few tabs, just the ones that we absolutely need. All right. Now, page rules. So page rules allow other people to help you manage your business's Facebook page. So to get to the page rule tab, you click here on page rules from the general tab, and you're met with a page like this. You can click here to choose what role you want a person to have. There's admin, which controls everything. Editor, which is under admin, that has much power but doesn't have control over everything. Moderator, advertiser, and analyst. So choose whichever one is appropriate. And then you can type in who you would like to add. So we see Susan there at the top. She's the one I want to add. I click on add, and now we're both admins. All right. So now we can both have complete control over our business Facebook page. And you can edit these settings at any time by clicking on this. You can remove the person if you're an admin, or you can adjust their page role accordingly. All right. So another way, after you've got the basics set up, to enter into much of this information are to click on these tabs here. So these will take you through the remaining steps to set everything up. So if that is more intuitive to you, by all means, know that those are there. So something that came up quite a bit last time is unpublishing our page. So if we want to do this, how we do this is we go to the General tab and then click up here on Page Visibility. So this will drop down and you can click on Page Unpublished. Now, before you do this, it's important to recognize what unpublishing your page does. So if you unpublish your page, it becomes invisible to everybody and it can't be searched for. So it's like it disappears until you want to turn it back on. So no, if you're driving a lot of traffic through your Facebook page and you unpublish it, that is going to stop and maybe will confuse some people. But if you're just getting things set up, this is a great resource to just sort of turn it off, get it exactly the way you want it, and then make it live. So again, we click here on Unpublish and then Save Changes. And then we're given a list of reasons why we might want to unpublish our page. I think most applicable will be that the page isn't finished yet. Click Next. This window will come up asking you what you need to finish your page. You don't actually have to click on anything or say anything. You can just click on Unpublish and it will unpublish it for you until you're ready to go, and then you can republish it. All right. I'm going to pause and ask if there's any questions about Facebook. That was a ton of information, and it probably came at you all very fast.
There are some questions in the chat you might want to look at.
Excellent.
Yeah, so it's actually, I was just responding to Heidi, I believe, or no, Erica, I'm sorry. So page roles need to come from your friends list. As far as I know, yes, they need to come from your friends list. So if there's someone in your company that maybe you're not friends with, just add that person as a friend. And then when you type in their name, they'll populate into those page roles. So that's a great question.
Excellent. Thank you, Eric.
And then you can also unfriend them afterwards. So some people don't want to be Facebook friends with their colleagues. And so so that is a way to get around that, is friend them, make them admin, and then unfriend them.
Thank you. Thank you, Christy. I yes, was hoping that you would add that. Very good. All right. Instagram. So remember that Instagram is a visual platform that allows you to form a personal connection with your customers by sharing pictures and videos. And on Instagram, you can take, edit, and publish visual content for your followers to interact with through likes, comments, and shares. Heidi, did you have something that you wanted to add? It may have been an accidental button push, no problem. An Instagram story is a photo or video post that vanishes after 24 hours. All right, so remember last time, Instagram has 1 billion monthly users, 500 million daily users, and Instagram users spent an average of 28 minutes per day on the platform in 2020, which is pretty unreal. All right. How have any of you seen Instagram used effectively in your work?
You know what, Nick, do you mind if I pause real quick? Heidi did have a quick question about Facebook. She
Please.
doesn't have a speaker, so I've got her question here, but
Awesome.
she did mention that as she was setting up a Facebook business page, it was disabled and said it didn't follow community standards, and it was disabled while they were working on it. So she also said she's a property management company and there's nothing inappropriate. What would cause this? That is interesting. I know that Facebook has been a little bit more sensitive to some of those things lately, but I couldn't tell exactly what may have caused that under these circumstances. So we might need a little bit more detail as to why that may have been disabled. And then also you can go into basically a chat with Facebook for your business page and try to get somebody on there, and they should chat with you back and forth. Sometimes it's a little bit of work to get them through the chat, but you can do that. You can get some Facebook support that way and maybe find out why. There's also a tab in there, and I'll see if we can find it, and I'll share it in the chat. But there's a tab where you can look at any issues that are on your page, and it'll actually tell you why. So I'll see if I can find that and add it to the chat, and hopefully that was helpful, Heidi.
Thank you, Eric. I appreciate that, and I hope that it was helpful. Did anybody have any experience using Instagram effectively for their business? Very good. All right. So if you want to set up your Instagram, before you begin, you're going to need a few things. Of course, the ever-present email address. You're going to need a cell phone with the Instagram app. Instagram was designed to work on a cell phone, so many of the features are most easily accessible through using your cell phone. You are going to need a profile photo and some basic business information, including things like your business phone number, your website, your location, and so on. Also, you're going to need some visual content to post. So we heard some nice stories about some visual content earlier in the session. Things like that are great to post to your Instagram page. All right, so what we're going to cover the basic setup. We're going to talk about how to make a business page. We're going to talk about how to post to Instagram. And we're going to talk about linking Instagram to Facebook. All right, so some basic setup. Here is the Instagram page. This is on my desktop. You can click here for sign up. You're met with this window where it's asking, of course, for this normal information. You enter in your birthday and a phone number, and you will be texted a code. I guess actually this looks like it was emailed to me. You enter it in, and you're met with their terms of service. You accept them, and then you're ready to go. And here's a whole list of people from across the world that we may be interested in following or maybe not. And to move forward, you click on the person up here in the corner and profile settings. Now, right now, you have a personal Instagram page. So we see my username and my name there. You need to enter some information in to move forward. So I chose to enter my phone number and my gender identity down there. And then that allows you to move forward, and we will be changing the rest of the information here in a couple of steps so that it becomes a proper business page. Submit. All right, so now you have your personal page set up and you need to turn it into an Instagram business page. To do that, you need to log in to your you need to download the cell phone app and log in, and you'll be met with a page like this. Click on the person here, and it will take you to this profile button. You click on the 3 lines up here. Sorry, muted myself for some reason. Once you're in settings, you click on account, and we can see down there, switch to professional account. You click on this, and then you're met with 3 different windows. These are separate from each other that give you all kinds of information about how to use your new professional account. And you can select a category that best fits your profile. Products and service is what we're going to select here. And then you can choose whether or not you want that to display on your profile. All right, then click done. You can choose whether or not you're a business or a creator. Here we're going to choose business and next. And then you can review your contact info. The business address, you can enter there and click next and create. And you can, at this point, choose to connect it to your Facebook page. This is probably a good way to go, although I'm going to show you a different way to connect it from inside Facebook here in a moment. Then you are met with 3 steps you need to complete. So to complete your profile, we'll remember we started with a personal account, and we need to adjust that now to our business. So you can click on name and change it. There we go. It's now from Nick Nash to Eastern Oregon Business Source. And then the username as well. That went by a little fast. Sorry about that. The username there. And we see them both changed. And we can also add, of course, our website, keeping in mind that this is the one place where Instagram allows us to link to something. So we want to use this very wisely. And we can also enter in our bio. And if we click on change profile photo, we can add a profile photo. And there we go. Now we click done. And then we move through the other steps. So we can invite friends through each of these methods. And then we're ready to share a photo or a video. Now, to do this, you, again, there are ways around it. If you want to use your desktop, I would encourage you to sort of look into that on your own. It's specific to which browser you're using and what kind of computer and so on, but it can be done. But in any case, the easiest way is to post from your phone. So here is our Instagram profile, a very nice picture. Once you are following people, you will still see their pictures in your feed. You click on the plus here, and then it brings up your photos. There we see the one I chose to pick, training strategy implementation results. All right, click next. Then you're met with the opportunity to add filters, which can be maybe especially good if you are taking pictures. You can also edit it by clicking here. It gives you a variety of tools to adjust the image. This image here, maybe you recognize it, came from Canva. Then you click next. And then you can write a caption, tag people, add your location, and also post on Facebook, Twitter, or Tumblr if you have them linked to your Instagram account. And then you click share up there at the top, and it is shared to your feed, and people can interact with it as they will. All right, linking an Instagram and Facebook page. We'll come back to this page that we remember so well and click on Instagram down here. We can see to connect our account, we just click the Connect Account button. We're met with this, which will allow us to log into Instagram. We put in our credentials and it is connected. So we see the Instagram details there. You can sync the information between the accounts if you wish, and you can also disconnect if you wish there at the bottom. All right. Once your accounts are linked, you get a variety of tools shared between the two. The one I'm going to highlight here is a shared inbox. So you can see that you have access to both your Facebook Messenger and your Instagram Direct, as well as comments on both of them and many other things. In our final session 2 weeks from now, we will talk about the Facebook creator platform that allows you to build on both Facebook and Instagram together very conveniently. All right, I'm going to pause and ask if there are any questions about Instagram. Awesome. So remember that LinkedIn is the world's largest professional network on the internet, and that you use LinkedIn to find the right job if that's what you're looking for, or to connect and strengthen professional relationships, or to learn the skills that you need to succeed, right? And LinkedIn for Business allows you to build credibility and create a meaningful network, as well as to glean insider expertise from established experts in your industry. So a few things we'll remember about LinkedIn. It has 310 million monthly users, 766 million total users, and 24% of people between 18 and 24 use LinkedIn, and 27% of US adults are signed up to LinkedIn. All right. Has anybody seen LinkedIn used effectively in their work?
I have a little bit. I have a corporate gift program with my business, and so I have done posts on LinkedIn to let people know, because everyone there is sort of business oriented, so it's a good match.
Yeah. Thank you, Christy. Yeah, so it's an excellent use case for LinkedIn. I mean, as we saw, one of the great things that LinkedIn allows us to do is to connect with other business people in the mode of business, right? So LinkedIn isn't a social network in the same way that other social media sites are. It's much more business oriented, which is something important to keep in mind. Now, LinkedIn, I think, is also the most laborious to set up of all of these. So before you begin, you need an email address. You need a professional profile picture. So you want your LinkedIn picture to look professional. So certainly if you hire someone to do that, or if you can accomplish it yourself, you want a little bit higher quality, we'll say, picture than you might use on your personal Facebook page. You want a cover photo. Canva here is great. LinkedIn also very conveniently gives you a couple of default options if that is more your style. You need to know who your current employer is. You're going to need an About You section that is about 2,000 characters max. So this should include things like your key accomplishments in your work, an introduction to you and what it is that you care about, and any key contributions that you have made in your area of expertise. Also might need past employment and education and a list of skills. So LinkedIn takes a little bit to get going, but it can certainly be worth the work once you put it in. So here is the LinkedIn homepage. As we're used to, we click sign in, we type in our email and agree to join. And we're sort of met with a page like this, where if we click here and here, we can change our cover photo and our photo here. I set these up before taking the screenshots. I apologize. It's a fairly straightforward process. Once we're in, our page will look like this when we're getting it set up. If you click on the me up here and then view profile, you are met with your profile. And there's a few different ways to interact. And we can see our profile strength, which is sort of our progress bar down there. You can click on add profile section. This will drop the menu. Here, if you click on about, it will allow you to enter your about information. My about information here is much shorter than it should be. It should be a much more robust explanation. The other great way to interact with this is to click on this down arrow here, and it will walk you through each of the things that you need to do. You can also click on the different tabs that are down here. For example, add past positions will allow you to add those. If you click on the arrow, it drops down what you need to finish. So you can add your education, and then the skills that were mentioned. And skills, this is just the top of their list. There's all kinds of different things that you're skilled at. So maybe writing, logistics management, health and safety, all kinds of different things that you could imagine. Luckily, you just pick the things that you want. So here are a few for mine: writing, teamwork, interpersonal skills, coaching. Very good. Click on done. And you are an all-star account. You're all set to go. All right, click on got it. All right, so if you want to set up a business LinkedIn account, there are a few requirements. Like with Facebook, you need a personal account. You also need to be at all-star or intermediate level. So that just means that you need to have entered all the things. We were at all-star at the end of our description there. A new user requires a 7-day wait before they can set up a business page. And you need some amount of first-degree connections. So I had trouble figuring out exactly how many you need. You need some amount. And first-degree connections are people that you reach out to directly, and they accept you as a contact. So another way to put this is that you need a somewhat established LinkedIn page before you're able to create a business account. So something to keep in mind. If you're ready to create your business account, you click on work and then create a company page, small business, or whichever one is applicable. And then you enter in the information here. And click this, of course, and create page. And you're met with something that looks like this. As before, we have this excellent drop-down arrow that will walk us through all the steps. And the steps include things like your industry, your company size, your website URL, a description, a logo, location, a custom button, hashtags, and your first post. All right. So what do I post to my LinkedIn business page? I think that is an excellent question and something we'll certainly talk about more in our 4th session. But for post to your business LinkedIn page, create content that other businesses would be interested in. So what kind of content would you find helpful? Whatever this is, you can create it and post it on your LinkedIn business page to build your professional connections. All right. So we'll remember that Twitter is a microblogging site that limits posts to 280 characters. And Twitter gives people a platform to discuss trending topics that they feel strongly about, as I'm sure we all know. Twitter has 340 million total users, 186 million daily users, and there are 500 million tweets sent every day. We're running a little short, so I'm going to skip through checking in to see if any of you all have used Twitter effectively. But before you begin, you're going to need an email address, a phone number, and a profile picture, and a cover photo. Again, Canva can be your best friend here, which is why we started with that. So, as we're well aware now, having done this many times, we can click sign up. We're met with a page like this. We can enter our name and our phone number and our date of birth, and then our account information, name, email, date of birth. There we go. Awesome. I guess you all know how old I am. My mistake. All right. You can customize your experience. I believe I chose not to check this box, but do as you wish. They will send you a verification code. You enter it in, you make up your password, and you're ready to go. You can then add your profile picture. You can add your bio, and you can search for things that are interesting to you and add people as you want in those areas. You can also click skip for now. They will give you suggestions of who you might want to follow. You can click next, and then here is your page. Click on edit profile to do the last few setup steps. Add your cover photo. Here is ours. You can resize it. Click apply. Click save. And you are ready to go. From here, click on home. And you are ready to tweet as you wish. And you can follow people and they will follow you back and interact as you want. All right. So we're getting a little bit short on time, but I wanted to just check in to see what was most helpful for you today.
Well, for me, the LinkedIn was the most helpful because that's the one I was currently trying to begin to navigate. So that was really helpful step by step. Thank you.
Thank you, Heather. I appreciate hearing that. Anybody else? What was helpful?
I appreciate the information on Canva. I think that'll be really valuable for our company.
Thank you, Raylene. Yes, Canva I think is a tremendous tool.
I'm gonna second that because I kind of looked at it and I didn't understand really how to use it. And now after hearing how everybody used it and how you were showing it, like I'm actually gonna go back and like relook at it and look at it through what I just learned from this class. So thank you.
Excellent. Excellent. Thank you, Isabel.
One question about that. Regarding the team name, and I'd mentioned earlier, we have two companies, so we can just have a team name that's maybe our family name. Is that right?
That's right. That's right.
Okay.
So in the case where team name is more useful to you than business name, you can absolutely name your team whatever works best for you. It doesn't have to be, it obviously can be connected to your business, but you can name it any way that you'd like.
Okay, thanks.
Yeah. All right. So our challenge for next time is like last time. Look at a few other business social media pages of the kind that you want to set up and find 2 or 3 things that you'd like to adopt. Just to close us out here, we're right at 10. Of course, we've had these 2 sessions. I invite you to attend our next session, which is website and e-commerce. It's going to be a lot of fun. I'm looking forward to it. And then finally, growing your following, what I think we've all been waiting for. Learn how to get our followers to the levels that we need to be successful in our business. As I promised, here is the overview of the people that will help you from SBDC. And I will open it up for any questions or comments.
And next, so we had a couple, Debbie just asked too, how do you load information into IG, not through your phone? Debbie, you're able to do that. Actually, just go to Instagram.com. I believe you have to set up developer mode on there. So let's say you're a photographer, for example, and you've got your information on your desktop and you want to just put it directly into Instagram that way. You can absolutely do that. So that's the way you can handle that. And then Christy also asked if we were going to cover selling on Facebook and Instagram, and that's something that we'll do next week as well with some of the e-commerce. So we'll cover more of the selling aspects of your business then.
Yeah, thank you.
I have
Eric.
a question about Instagram,
Please.
or not Instagram, LinkedIn. So
Yes.
last week we covered about, you know, on your LinkedIn page, the cover photo,
Yes.
not your professional photo, but a cover photo. Explain that again, exactly what should be there, how often it should be changed on LinkedIn.
Yeah, so it can be either one of their default cover photos, which is probably the least desirable. But ideally, it should be something that represents you and your business in the way that you want to be represented. And as before, you can change it when necessary to sort of accomplish what it is that you're trying to do with your LinkedIn account. My impression is that probably you would change it a little bit less than you would for your Facebook page and so on and so forth.
Okay.
Right. I mean, unless you're driving a lot of traffic with your LinkedIn account, then yeah, maybe you would change it regularly to keep people engaged. But generally speaking, as far as like the amount that you would post to each site, you know, you would post a lot to Instagram, pretty regularly to Facebook, probably quite a bit less to LinkedIn, right? So you can imagine posting multiple times a day to some of the others if you're really active, whereas maybe only once a week to LinkedIn. Although certainly, depending on what you're trying to accomplish, you may post more than that. But are there any other questions?
I have a question on Instagram.
Okay.
So I've got my personal account, and then say I've got two separate business accounts. When I'm posting on my personal, that does not show up on the business ones, does it? It's all separate?
That's right. Yes, they're all separate. Yeah.
Okay, just depends on where I go to post. Okay,
Right.
thanks.
Right. Yep. Any other questions?
The only thing I'm going to remind is I know Debbie asked as well for the link to the session. We'll be posting this once it's fully uploaded. We'll send it over to our Facebook page, so you can look at Blue Mountain SBDC on Facebook. It'll also be on our LinkedIn, and we post it right through our YouTube. So we'll have this session as well as the previous session posted there for your reference and review.
Excellent. Thank you, Eric. And I really wanted to thank everybody for their attention today. It was an intense amount of information, and I really appreciate you hanging with me. We got there right on time, and I wasn't sure we were going to be able to do it. So thank you all for your time today.
Thank you, Nick. You did an awesome job again. Really appreciate it.
Thank you. I really appreciate it too, from like the bottom of my heart and soul. I appreciate.
Thank you.
So it's actually given me some drive that I've really been needing. So thank you.
Yeah, no problem.
Okay, have a good day, you guys. See you next week.
Thank you. See you next week.
Bye.